Hello and welcome back. In this video we will start to create the controller and some more routes to handle this CRUD setup that we need in order to create products and read them and update them and delete them. So basic CRUD functionality, and we did the interfaces. We can see product user, we did the models, and we only have one endpoint, one route. That is kind of the basic welcome route to check if the server is running. So first we will create a new folder because we still want to keep things nice and organized, and separation of concerns, single responsibility principles. So we will create a folder called controllers. And inside the controllers folder, we will create different files, but first we will create a controller for the product. So we call this product controller. And the product controller will be responsible for talking to the repository, to the data source, and run all these commands regarding CRUD. So first we need to import, as we have done before also, we need to import a request and also a response. And we will do this from Express, as we've done before here, yes. We also need to import our product model that we have defined. And now I can see that it has auto-generated something here. Let me check. We need to go to our models and find the product model. So now we have a reference to the product model that the controller needs to know about, so we can create one in the data source, in the repository. Further on, we also need to import the connection and also the disconnection from our repository. So we can connect to the data source and we can disconnect. All right, so we got the dependencies set up here. And it is CRUD, so we will create, of course, create and read or get, update and delete. So basic CRUD functionality that we have in all programming languages and many general software applications. We need to do CRUD to make it work. So we're going to make a new asynchronous function. Let's call this create product. And the create product will take a request, and the request will be of the type request because we're using TypeScript. It will take a response. That is a response, if I can type correctly here. And if we need it also, it will return a promise. Because functions also have return types when we're using TypeScript here. And we could create some sort of header for this function. It's going to be good practice. So create a new product in the data source based on the request body. So we're going to need a request body in JSON to make this work. And first we will make a constant called data, and we're going to fetch the body, get the body from our request. So we have all the data that has been passed into this, and ultimately this comes from the front-end client, whatever that might be, but there should be some body that includes the data. Then we're going to do a try, catch, and oops, finally structure. And because we're doing this, we want to use the same pattern, which is called try, catch, and finally, which will allow us to try some code, might go wrong, we're going to handle the errors in the catch, and finally we will close the connection to the data source that we should do. So the first thing is that we can await our connection to the database. Then we will make a new constant called product. We're going to make a new product model. And the product model will take the request body, the data that we passed into it. We probably need to validate this also, but right now we will just put this into the product model. And then we're going to create a result constant, because we will ask our product, because we're going to get a new product document that we can run the save command on. So we're going to save our product based on our product model in the data source. And if it goes well, we will send a status of 201, 200 OK, or 200 created. And then we will send a message with the results, which is the created data. And we're not going to use the parentheses right now. We could do this. If something goes wrong in the process here, we will send a status of 500, meaning an internal server error. We're going to send a message here, error creating product. And finally, we will await disconnect. So we're going to disconnect from the data source. All right, so basic structure, getting the body, connecting, creating a model, product model with the data. We're creating a new product document that we will call the save command on. And then we will issue if it goes well, 201 and send the results, and otherwise send an internal server error message back to the client, and then we will disconnect. Okay, so in order to make this work, of course, we need to use the product controller. And the way we do this is we go to the routes, and then we need to, we got the router, the request response, we need to import our controller functions. So we're going to import, and as of now, we only have create product that will fetch from controllers and product controller. We're not using it as of now, but let's see if we can actually use it. So we're connecting our create product method or function that we just created here, and this will separate concerns so that the routes file is only responsible for actually having the route, and the controller is responsible for talking to the data access layer, the data source, the repository. We could have a service layer also, but right now it would just be kind of a pass-through layer, so I'm going to skip this in this application. Okay, so what we will do is we will, let's see where we should put this new route here. We're going to add a new route, router, And because this is we're creating data, we want to post data. So it's not a GET request, it is a POST request. So we will type product, and we will put our create product function into the router, into the endpoint, so that whenever we access this products endpoint, we will run the create product function from the controller. So if we go to the app.js, we can see we already have the routes, and it is connected to the API. Prefix here, we can see if probably it's a good idea just to move this into our start server, because this function will, as it says, start the server, so it makes sense that we have it here. But it's going to be working okay up there, but now that we have the function here, let's just put it there. So bind routes to the app, which includes the create. Okay, so to keep this video not too long, I will stop it here, and in the next video we will try to use Postman, the Postman extension, to test the route, test the endpoint to see if we can create a new product into the database. Okay, so I hope you make this work and have fun. Bye bye.